Last year, State Farm released a series of ads called Batman vs. Bateman, where they compare having a non-State Farm insurance to getting help from Bateman instead of Batman, Bateman being Jason Bateman. As far as commercials go, these seem to be received pretty well, with a lot of people praising the costume designs for keeping their comic accuracy while still being slightly altered for live action, and I agree. The commercials featured Joker, Two-Face, Riddler, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman, played by SZA. For some reason, they got a big star to play one villain. Maybe it should have been All or Nothing, but whatever. Also, Kai Cenat's there.
Yo, the Joker!
All the costumes look great, specifically Joker and Two-Face. I honestly think the worst looking one is the Batman costume, and it's not even that bad. They pretty perfectly capture the Gotham atmosphere, and I gotta shout out the music, which sounds very similar to Danny Elfman's score. And that transitions into the State Farm jingle, and that's a lot of fun.
Settle for Bateman when there's Batman, so don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm.
Anyway, this commercial got me thinking about other commercials with superheroes in them, specifically ones that aren't tie-ins to specific movies. I want to see the commercials that make their own costumes for the characters. The first one that came to mind for me was the 2001 Got Milk commercial featuring the Avengers. This one does the costumes much differently than the State Farm one. Although the Batman costumes kind of feel grounded enough already, most of them are wearing suits while the Avengers wear bright, bombastic costumes. And they lean into that a lot for the Got Milk ad. These costumes are ripped straight from the comics, down to the musculature, which seems to be foam rubber or latex. I don't think you could take these exact costumes and plonk them into movies and it would work. These really only work for the commercial. They seem larger than life and important, so kids will see their heroes big and strong, bathed in angelic light, and be like, "The Avengers drink milk and they're super strong, so I should drink milk and be strong too." Jumping back to Batman, OnStar did a series of 6 ads in 2000 with him. For those of you who are in the same boat as me and have never heard of OnStar, they're like a vehicle security service thing, I guess. Most commercials of this age don't have much behind-the-scenes info about it, but these ones were so big and so popular that it has its own Wikipedia page. These ads aren't technically tying into any movie, but they take heavy inspiration from the Burton Schumacher movies, even having Michael Gough reprising his role as Alfred, and using the Danny Elfman score. The Batsuit seemed to be a combination of parts from stunt suits, according to Bruce Thomas, the guy who played Batman. There was a surprising amount of promotion for these commercials. There were some sick posters with art by Mark Stutzman, trading cards, and apparently 2 special edition comics, which I might look at some other time. The next commercial I wanted to look at was this Baby Ruth commercial with Hawkman. Baby Ruth did a series of ads called Moments with Great American Heroes, and by series, I mean I only found 2. The other one was with a Flash knockoff called The Blur, who, as far as I can tell, is not a real character. I think the costume's not that bad here, but the wings are so low, they're basically coming out of his butt. Unfortunately, this appearance isn't significant enough to have a multiversal listing on the DC wiki. Swinging back to 1982 to promote the release of the new Spider-Man game, Atari released this commercial. The Spider-Man costume's not great, but the Green Goblin costume isn't that bad. It's obviously made for very cheap, but the mask is pretty solid, and the actor is just going nuts.
You're running out of fluid!
Is this more action than even Spider-Man could handle?
This was the very first Spider-Man video game. It's hard to judge now by 2026 standards, but I'm sure back then it really made you feel like Spider-Man. And the Green Goblin from the game would make a cameo in Across the Spider-Verse. One last Marvel one was this 2005 Visa check card commercial. Underdog is also there. These costumes are probably just above the Atari ones in terms of quality. They're still very spandexy, but there are some hard rubber elements on some of them, and I love how comic booky they are. I know Captain America is strong, but it's crazy to see him burst out from under a solid concrete street like that. The main characters in the ad are Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, Wolverine, and Storm, but there are a couple other characters in the back that I can barely make out. This one seems to be Silver Surfer. This one looks like he has a Nova helmet, but the colors of the costume are wrong, and also he has a cape. This one looks like Cloak in some shots, and in others looks like he's not wearing a shirt. and I have no idea who this one could be. For our last commercial, I got one that's got a bit of attention recently. It's the 1997 American Express commercial featuring Superman and Jerry Seinfeld. This one's a little different, as there aren't any live actors in costumes. Superman is animated and voiced by Patrick Warburton. I wanted to bring this one up because I just recently learned that on top of this short ad, in 2004 they also did 2 5-minute shorts directed by Barry Levinson, who directed Rain Man and other movies. There isn't really a plot to these, it's kind of just Superman and Jerry hanging out. The first one they're getting lunch and then go back to Jerry's place to install his new DVD player. The next one they're going on a road trip in the Midwest. It's honestly so casual that once they get to the American Express integration, you forget you're watching an ad.
That's right, Short Shorts. You may be invulnerable to physical harm, but I'm invulnerable to damage, theft, or things bouncing off of a superhero's chest within 90 days of purchase.
The animation was done by Unplugged TV Studios in Toronto. I don't think they exist anymore, and I can't look at their old website. I didn't try that hard. But they used a combination of hand-drawn and flash to animate Superman, and it looks great. He moves so smoothly and pretty seamlessly blends into the scene. These 2 shorts are just genuinely pretty good, and all of the commercials we just talked about have some interesting quality to them, whether it be with costumes, production quality, or they're just kind of silly. It's also cool to see how the tone of the commercials affects how the costumes are interpreted. But let me know what you think of these commercials, and are there any others you think I should take a look at? And I will see you later.
Help me! Will somebody please help me! Someone stole my Visa check card.
Read my lips. If your Visa check card's lost or stolen, you're not liable for fraudulent charges.
And all that money will be put back in your checking account. Sheesh.
Signing with a Visa check card is super safe.
There's no need to fear. Underdog.
Never mind.